Perfect. Whoa. Nice. Okay. Got the Papis versus What's A Jpeg. Bands already come out. Hunbats, Yamoja, and Odin from What's A Jpeg, and Xingchen, Merlin, and Camazots from the Papis. First pick being Persephone for the Papis. Looking at Thor for What's A Jpeg, and a Chuck. Two top picks being picked first and prioritised, Thor and Persephone. Chuck's a little bit of an odd pick out there, but still a very aggressive one. That's looking to be put into solo, of course. Pappy's looking at a Ganesha pick for most likely support, and Osiris for the solo laner. I think Trey's been known for his Osiris, so no surprise to see him on that. It looks like Sylvanas we picked up. He's likely going to the support for What's A Jpeg. I always get mixed up with those Osiris skins. One of those skins is banned. I think it's the other one. It's the light one. I never really realised why until like a few days ago. Okay, the second ban phase is coming out. What's the JPEG ban for Thanatos? Going off assumptions here, I think the Puppies need their jungler and their AD. And What's the JPEG need their ADC and their mid laner. Kukulkan coming out for a ban from the Puppies, and Achilles being the final ban from What's the JPEG. And the Hell ban coming out for the final ban from What's the Puppy, sorry. I see it. Strong heals. Get them out of there. Like the double execute focus ban from the What's the JPEG ban? Oh, a Hades looking to be picked up. I think that's looking at their team. That's looking like a Hades mid. Jingwei looking to be picked up for ADC for the Puppies. And Circuit coming out as the final pick for the Puppies. And Cupid looking to be picked up for the ADC for What's a J. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. I just thought the gods are going in different places, but it looks like Warrior's playing the Cupid, and we all pretty much know Warrior is a solo laner. I think Drowsy's the jungler on the Chuck, and Who's? I think they're ADC savvy on the Thor. Okay. I don't know if that's meant to be like that. They're actually going to go with it. I wanted to see Keeper, yeah. He's saying it is cute solo. Interesting. Let me move my thing out of the way because I can't see who's on the Jing Wei. I think it's who's Davies on that one, right? Yeah. What's a Jpeg? Got an interesting lineup. Quite a tanky approach. Having a Chuck coming into the jungle, I believe. And a Thor into the ADC. Because obviously Jingwei is not very well known for having high pressure. Yeah. She doesn't have a lot of pressure in the dual lane as it is. I think Thor's going to kick. So, you know. But never understand most of her. Uh-oh. We have to reset the winter. Okay, so it was a trading issue. Oh, okay, the Chuck going to their ADC player and the Thor's going in the jungle, right. Very interesting matchup they got there. It's quite a very heavy dive comp. What's a Jpeg's team? A lot of, yeah, they've literally all got almost, yeah, they've all got AoE ults as well. Not forgetting the Persephone ult from papis, so that ultimate is fucking team fight godsend. It's ridiculous. Got some nasty combos combine that with the Ganesha ult as well. Kind of like the Osiris and Serket pick here as well. Look, because they have What's A Jpeg have a very strong heal comp as well. The team heals from the Cupid and the Sylvanas alongside the strong self heals from the Chuck and the Hades. Bearing in mind, Hades can still also heal his team around him as well. That could be quite frustrating to deal with if they don't deal with that quick enough. Away we go. Hopefully they've all got the right fucking picks this time. So I think they're looking at a Janeway versus a Chuck in the Material lane. Thinking Chuck and Sylvanas should definitely have a lot of pressure from there, from early on. It's the Janeway and Ganesha. In solo, the Cupid against the Osiris. I really thought I'd be saving the matchup for solo lane, but okay, I'm looking at sorry, that is Hades mid, and the junglers are Thor and Sir Ket. Sir Ket, as previously said, I do like to pick him to counter the healing. Amount of healing that Whats A Jpeg has currently. Yeah, and also noticing that Whats A Jpeg do have quite a heavy beats burning team. The Thor, Hades, Cupid ult, and the Chuck ult at times as well. They're all big AoEs. Persephone doing the Persephone strat, planting plants in the middle lane. Now people have realised that's what they do around now, because I still see people play the 2 and just plant the 2 in lane. Excited for Persephone's new change actually, when those the tier 2 plants, the ones that run at you and fucking move really quick now. Double Warrior's Blessing for the Cupid and the Chuck as well. 3 hogs coming from the papis there. I'm gonna see a hog on that Jinwei as well. He's just going to boot start. Showing that starting his sickle. It's 1. Cyrus getting quite a heavy beat down on the Cupid there. Cupid being Cupid. Switch them around. I think they're all in the right place. Yeah, looking like, as assumed, the Chuck and Sylvanas are getting the pressure, pushing Puppy back. And like they're going straight for. Oh, okay. Interesting start coming up from the puppies from drilling. That hog on the gym is against the upper puppy that's already been dropped. Picking up the Chuck there. So that Sylvanas close, getting pushed straight back. Stephanie with a lot of plants by the tier 1. Hot bomb ones for Osiris. I'm really excited to see how this Cupid plays out, because at the minute it looks like he's pushing Osiris back into the tower. I think Cupid might just be managing to get a goal advantage on him. Oh, stun on Persephone in mid. The beads do come out from the Persephone. Another heart bomb. He's also applying the pressure onto Cupid. He's got those heals to get him right back up. That chocolate is actually something that's quite powerful in the early game. This spin is quite an underrated ability. Like max level, of course, that's going to give a max 100 protections each. Yeah, Whats A Jpeg here managing to steal away the first purple score. Shark dashing right into the knock-up. A little bit of trouble there from the Ganesha pickup, but seems to walk it off with a heavy sustain as we endure. Osiris really applying the pressure to Cupid right by his tier 1. Looks like the jungles have both made their way over to solo at the minute. Socket's looking around the corner. They're just going to go back to clear their own blue buffs. I don't see much of the junglers at the minute in this game, probably just getting their farm up as they usually do. Looking like Thor's already hit level 5. Might try to look to get quite an early ult onto someone. We're managing to get her boots online pretty quickly. Cupid trying to repeatedly stop Osiris's back there. It's working quite well for her. Although Osiris wants his shield. Totem pressure is coming out of the other red team. Oh, the Osiris misses the ult onto the Cupid. Cupid's hanging in there pretty low. Spirit Flail does hit. Cupid tries to sustain a little bit of it up. They're looking too aggressive. Persephone's here with the Persephone ult. Doesn't hit the main root, but hits the vine grab. Looks like Osiris is going in here for a kill. Yep, does get heart bomb, but does manage to get the kill. Quite a bit of tower damage there. Onto the Osiris, manages to take him out. With the support and the jungler looking to steal the blue away from Whats A Jpeg, so once is finally he was making his way over here, now he's just changing his mind. Have to go back to mid. Right. So noticing he was a bit too late to head over there. Looks like that was a beast there from Jingwei, because Hades dives and does a ton of damage with Devour Souls. Yeah, seeing Hades has gone into the purple boots, because that's recently has been buffed, giving the lifesteal and a little bit of mana. Which actually makes it very potent with the Bancroft start, depending on if you go more lifesteal, we don't know. Starting as the Persephone, the double tap does manage to hit, but he doesn't follow up off of that. So Persephone looks to recall. Drumnet are really not letting the Cupid get any sort of aggression here, pushing him straight back into his tower. Using that sickle strike is a lot of aggression. Shark also pressuring the Jingwei right back to tower, almost not allowing her to get any XP from the wave. Just holding that wave there, just keep pushing her back and poking her with the axe. It's a 1. Looks like the Ganesha ult comes out onto the Sylvanas. Does manage to catch him, but Sylvanas still walks away. The pickup does happen. So I get ult onto the Sylvanas, pushes him back even further. Flourish in the echoes with a taunt onto Sylvanas. He does manage to just get out with the shell. And Sylvanas will just walk, looking to try and get a sneaky pull. Doesn't work. Thor looks like he's charging his ult with a second. Out of mana, using another escape. Dives onto Persephone. Persephone bees do come out. Looks like Ganesha's in, but quite dies to Hades, falls down to Hades and Sylvanas. So I mean, like looking at their health bars now, like Sylvanas was like 1 HP, but the sustain they have is incredible at the minute. Might need to deal with that as quick as they can. was definitely just staring at mid. Really nice combo against that Sylvanas, but he just had, and that shell did save his life as well. And his team did manage to get there in time to save him. There's a slight level lead from the jungle and solo from Whats A Jpeg, and the support as well. Mid seems to be level, and the ADC behind the papis. Chuck, that poke from Thunderstrike is just. Zhurong is managing to handle the low pressure quite well. The Persephone does come out, just missed the Sylvanas though. The taunt does come out, and the and the death blade. The plant manages to take out Sylvanas, stuck in the Ganesh ult. Oh, the Hades ult has been cancelled. Probably assuming that Persephone had a dash up there. I think she would have walked out of it because she was caught right on the edge of it. Looks like Cyrus has made a rotation. His keeper was already spotted there. Dasher and Hades comes out. Looking to get some aggression from the solo there, but his team have already backed off. Nice little bone rush there from Persephone. We're just trying to get a little bit of just trying to push up a little bit in the lane, but Chuck just not letting her. Pick up by Ganesha in the mid lane onto the Hades. The Hades heals that all right back up. Ganesha getting out of a panic ult, but then the second ult does just miss the Thor. Comes out. Because like Ganesha wasn't such a panic after all. He pre-predicted a Thor ult there. He does manage to get out alive though. I believe that was a shell he was using in that fight though. Hades comes in, the Steiner the knock-up though from Sylvanas' damage from the Power Soul is just incredible. But Persephone does manage to pick up the Hades as he dies to the tower, I believe, but the tips from Sylvanas, so Sylvanas does manage to get caught by Saket in the end. But 2 for 2 for that short engagement and a short dive into the tier 1. I mean, that's just the aggression coming out of a very heavy dive comp that Whats A Jpeg do have currently. Always went Typhons first, the Hades has. Okay. Questionable, but I can see where it's coming from. That's actually got more sustain on the Typhons. But Bancroft does give you a lot more power and a heavier damage spike. Maximus Ket looking at the base here. I'm just thinking one of my strats that people call me weird for. Invading works, man. It just seems Osiris will run at the Cupid. I'm interested to see how that Cupid will play out late game actually. A huge cripple field with the ult. Because Cupid does seem to have gone from the into the breastplate. Maybe probably just to take on that cooldown. Get gifts. Chuck looking to go into Transcendence for a second, and the jungler's doing ordinary starts. So I kept doing the quite smart decision and going straight into the Warlords to prevent some of that heavy sustain that Whats A Jpeg have. Push coming out from that triple fight in mid with Sylvanas and the Hades. Oh, the double tap and stun onto Saket. Saket manages to jump out, but Thor charges his ult. Might manage to hit her. Or Saket death banes away and sort of misjudges the ult. Ults onto the Thor, pushes him. Oh, nice taunt. Pushing him back towards his teammates. Oh, the hammer does come out. She runs back into the tower. Good Ganesh ult. Catches the Thor for a tip. Saket gets the Warson. Oh, God. Saket does manage to death bane in, but does get caught by Sylvanas, and Thor does fall. I think he thought of Persephone there. It's a good capture by Ganesh, getting in front of Ganesh. They managed to just miss the block there. Silences the ult comes out from Sylvanas, Reese, and Silence comes out the ult from Persephone comes out and manages to catch Hades, but the ticks are just enough to catch the Ganesh off. Like I'm saying, like, look, they took a lot of damage from that fight, you know, with Persephone out on all and with their full health already. He's just managed to just dive free onto the Persephone at the minute. Almost going down in duo as I'd expect. Luckily, I think Jinwei's playing it ultra safe, knowing that it's a Chuck. Actually, can't really do much against it, especially when you've got Warrior's Blessing. That Blessing does make it quite difficult to box. Looks like What's a Jpeg here trying to pick up the Gold Fury? Jinwei's noticed. And they're coming in now as full below. 10% HP. Blue team managed to take it away. Papis are taking it away, although Circuit does manage to fall. And it's a Hades ult double stun from the first stun there. Osiris ulting into the fight. I think I had a Persephone come out as well. In fact, caught a few people with the Vine. Persephone does go fall. So did Algo, trade off with Sylvanas. Looks like the solo end is from that he's going to fall. The Cupid ult. He does manage to catch the Hades though just before he loses his life. Good play there by Terminator, stalling a lot of time as well. I think this team get back to farming what they can. You got the gold difference there. I think that's a gold lead in only 1k, but it's in a blue team's favour. Papis. There, looking at builds, looks like Hades is going into that bank off second after the Typhons. Both support builds pretty standard. Sylvanas managing to get the sovereignty after the Thebes. Looks like Ganesh will be doing the same. I think that's, if I can see that correctly, that's Cupid going into either... Actually, yeah, no, he might be going to the CAD shield there, because I forgot that builds off of the Warden shield. Yeah, so that's I doubt there's going to be an Unshile or a Runic shield. That might be the CAD shield to keep his sustain up. Also with the Sylvanas, that could also work as well, with that aura gives. Osiris going into the Toxic Blade as well. I like the fact that they're picking this anti-heal up instantly, although noticing like their support hasn't picked up their second relic yet, they do manage to go for a shell as their second relic from the solo lane, just to prevent that heavy siege potential that the Whats A Jpeg do have. But I still like the Toxic Blade pick up third and the fact the circuits. Oh, and Persephone's now gone to Divine Rune third as well. They've pretty much got a lot of anti-heal online. Jinwei looks to be a little bit pressured out by the Chuck here, but Jinwei being Jinwei, playing it also ultra safe, dashing away. I guess Chuck does have a knock-up in his kit to prop the dash, which he kind of has to purify because that ult knock-up does silence. But apart from that, she only has the Sylvanas really to dash off of, as well as her own one, of course. Oh, the Cupid ult coming out onto the Osiris goes for ult, managed to ult out the Sylvanas. Knock-up, just pulled back in onto Ganesha, and the Hades ult as well, and Thor, the Persephone ult comes in as well. Ult galore falling into this small Ganesha fucking square, Jesus Christ. Do manage to pick up the Osiris though. Blue team looks like they need to fall off. Double blink I think there. Comes in, but they're managing to survive. The kill's coming up, so one thing of that. Second does manage to get caught out by that spear. Hades just before she can get her leap off.
I mustn't return
good
to the
fight there. Good calls from Whats A Jpeg. Good combinations with the ults, man. I'm seeing all of them just come out all once. Crazy. Oh my gosh, Jpeg getting a free Pyromancer here. Jinwei pushes her tier 1 in duo lane. Caught by the tower there. Thor's looking like he's going straight for. He's going to ignore the Oracle and go towards her, but I think she's going to recall in time before he can get to yeah, she manages to get out safely. Yeah, the Chuck's gone Glad Shield third, keeping up even more sustain with himself. Alongside the Hell's Chalice and the obviously the strong heal he's got in his 3. Getting a little bit more tankiness as well in that ADC role. Interesting. Jinwei going into standards, Executioner straight after the Devos Gauntlet. still see Devo as just like an okay pickup, but just getting 5% extra lifesteal next patch as well. Cupid ult does come out, looks like he's trying to gank onto the Cupid. Oh, it's a little bit uncoordinated there from Osiris. Circuit. Thor does make a rotation and catches Drone Meter off. Ulting up to the Circuit, trying to find her. The ult and the Heart Bomb do miss just slightly. Look at the tower dive here. Thor sends Circuit then sends away. Oh, tries to catch him with the taunt, but Thor pre-eats that and gets the Berserker's Barrage and catches her off. Good kind of counter gank there. Glad Thor made his way over just in time to help the Keeper down and take out both the solo and the jungle for the Papis. Hades and Sylvanas looking to do something. Sylvanas coming around from the other side of the red buff. Hades looking at both of them as well. Hades now having like double lifesteal online as well, quite scary. Although they do have a lot of anti to try and shut them down as much as they can, alongside the Sylvanas wisps. Generally hanging in there hanging in there slowly but surely, because she's just farming out, getting herself to that late game, because Shock Issue not been allowing her to do much at all this game. Looks like Whats A Jpeg they're going to pick up the Gold Fury, looks like Own Fury this one. Blue team looking for trying to get another steal, but they do drop the Gold Fury and focus the fight onto the Papis. Lots of damage dropped onto them, but looking like no casualties at the minute. Ganesh, Persephone and Jinwei do manage to be punched up quite a bit, so sustaining with the plants there. A lot of sustain coming from that plants. Look how they're catching Hades a little bit too far forward for the Hades, but they do get the Oni Fury in trade-off for that. Hades picked up the Polynomic that. Yeah, another lifesteal item there. Really trying to boost up his sustain. Thor dunking now 1%. Doesn't go manage to leap out, try to get the ult in time, but the tick still advantage this. He manages to take that out. Tries to use the passive to get as much damage in as possible. Smart play by Drowsy back on Thor there, knowing that Persephone probably doesn't have a beat up for another 80 seconds. Trying to get some onto Jinwei, but I think they're too high of a level now to even probably fight each other. She tries to go for the way, Chuck just doesn't let her. Clearing the wave off as she can. Chuck trying to get as much Pokemon to it. Looks like there's a rotation coming in from the mid jungle and support. Jinwei notices the good stun does catch her off and the double tap into the auto. Initiation there by the Thor. That's really showing his good Thor off today. In it is the jungle, going with that into that trans and the Hydras. Every combo. But Whats A Jpeg here pushing both the towers and Jura lane, managing to get them, I believe, yes. And then looking to back off after this. Persephone trying to sneak that tower in that mid lane. Cupid coming up behind her. Manages to get that ult off. Oh my god, gets the mid and the heart bomb. She just manages to get out as she ults Cupid, just keeping him stuck in there. Thor looks like I think Thor dunked onto the mid lane there. As Cupid still tries to pursue the Persephone. She takes an auto but manages to dash out. Cupid still in the chase. Oh, the Aegis coming out, trying to dodge the auto. Another Flourish comes out and just barely slips out of that one. Nice jukes there from Define Ordinary. Looks like in mid though, the Thor was punished for ulting on top of them, from what I last heard. Looks like they're trying to make the rotation onto the Cupid here. And they're punishing him for being a little bit too far forward. Support solo and ADC. Oh, so I kept behind. Oh, forming collapse. And then Whats A Jpeg trying to get some, trying to take out the circuit. Will the ticks kill her? Yeah, the ticks do manage to get her from the Sylvanas. Oh, the wisps. It feels like still manages to fight and the sustain. But Persephone does come straight out. the jungle manages to connect, taking out the Hades. Jinwei managing to pick up a double kill into the Hades and the Sylvanas. Something with that Persephone ult is such an incredible ult, and that's... I do like the nurse coming to us from the next patch for that. Such a devastating ultimate in team fights. So much control over what the enemies are not capable of doing. Shark here looking to try and steal the fire giant away from the puppies. Thor does connect. Yep, just like the puppies do manage to get it and punish the Chuck, so trying to manage to steal. Thor trying to get that kill on Ganesh though, I think. It gets picked up before he can do a lot more harm. I think this is where Whats A Jpeg are starting to get punished for their heavy sustain now, because I believe they have a pest there, then Pestilence, Crossbow, Blade Brawlers, and a Divine online now. Looking like a lovely Cursed Onk pickup from the Ganesh as well. Does work when he sees the Sylvanas which pops, and instantly proc that extra 20% damage, I think it is. Cursed Onk is a really, really good relic. I like that pickup. Looks like the blink and the shell for the Sylvanas on... Oh, sorry, the support on Whats A Jpeg as well. I think that's triple blink if I'm correct on Whats A Jpeg. Looking to get some heavy initiation from that. I'm surprised Thor didn't go blink actually. He's gone safe option with beads and Aegis. So the one that's going from the Sovereignty into the Pestilence was looking like the Tyrannical Plate Helm. Whereas the Ganesh going into the Heart Ward for more. I kind of actually like those pick up all the aura items to keep his team as tanky as possible. Seb Pet not knowing that being ambushed by 200 sorry, the puppies do answer with a Ganesh ult and do manage to pick up the Cupid from Whats A Jpeg. If that was triple ult there. Thor does done. Jinwei ult does come out, the Hades ult does come out and catches two of them. But they very well sustaining in there, chasing the Hades down here, so once does fall and so does the Hades. I think noticing from the Hades build he only has 10% pen there, so the ultimate is really only triggering the size in the Ganesh there. Puppies have been smart and just playing this safe until late game where they're managing to just power through now. Like Chuck teleporting in there, Ganesh dash a little bit off the mark. Osiris still applying shake. I think that Chuck pick is starting to hurt them a little bit from the ADC role. Just trying to take the towers from now. They did manage to get Harvey to get a Phoenix in the duo lane. At the final tower, Thor looking to just try and get us a little bit, get some poke onto Osiris. But Osiris with his passive alone, the tanking is incredible. Now Whats A Jpeg looking like they want to try and save their 2-2 here. Trying to keep the Papis at bay, and then you see power of the tower. Allowing them to just put stuff Thor and the heart link connects to 700 blood straight on the Cupid. The one that managed to get trying to try and save the kill, and so the Chuck also brings in ults as well, but the Ganesh ult and also kept us through the Thor there. Ult first and Chuck combo to death. You see that's death. Thor up down, down, just get the down just the team Thor back. Puppies are able to apply a lot of pressure now. I mean, love the fact that a lot of their sustain was just cancelled. It's just the heavy anti-heal pickups from the Puppies, and they're able to do a lot more now. Managing to get that tower and push the Phoenix a little bit. Take out two members of Whats A Jpeg along the way. Looking relic-wise, yeah, Cupid does suffer a lot picking up the Frenzy alongside the Teleport. You know, he has no cleanse at the minute for the heavy CC that the Puppies do bring. Like Ganesha knock up, and it's definitely the Persephone. looking like Spawn's trying to show off their wards there. Football. Terminator getting the most out of his chalice there. Loving that. Looking at the Cupid's build after the CAD shield, which he did manage to pick up from Warden, he goes into Crusher and Shoguns. You can see him that extra bit of attack speed. The only issue is that, like, alongside his relics, he doesn't have any source of CC immunity to help him out. Hopefully, he's looking to pick up a robe there, the cloak there. Hopefully, that's looking to either be a Magi's or Mantles to help him escape CC trap that the puppies do bring. I also managed to put up toxic blade last. She's on a pen rush. I like that because obviously with Chuck, the Hades, the Sylvanus, and the hybrid Cupid build looking like Circuit, putting some aggro onto Thor there. Does pop the ultimate. I thought they were chasing. I think it's going to go in there. Circuit combo does come out. Taking him to very low health, but it allows puppies to get those 3 fire giant there. And allowing Whats A Jpeg to contest. Contrast in mid builds here. Tags with the triple life, so he does has gone Karen's coin to get that nice 20% physical pen, magical pen, to help him try and do a little bit more damage to the tanks, because Cyrus is just not worth the ladies right now. Looking at the Persephone build, I think that's a Cronus pen in second, and she's gone to Divine and 30% magical pen from the Karen's coin and at least Soul Reaver. Top that off with the starting Reaver. Been seeing a little bit on Persephone there. Oh, and hits 2 bone rushes, one after the other, on that trapped enemy inside the vines. One's actually catching the Jinwei dash. Okay. Managing to just push the puppies off of the Phoenix, saving it and barely any health. Actually managing to puppies trying to come back and apply a little bit more aggression. So I kept looking to split push the mid wave here. But Whats A Jpeg noticing quite quickly, managing to push her away. Phoenix is just barely surviving there. Thor gets caught out instantly. Sucker managing to pick up that kill. A Blit Raid even after using both his relics there. I think they're looking to get this Phoenix wiped out right there. They're looking to push the middle lane now. It's currently 4v5. They do have their aggression onto Whats A Jpeg now. So just missed, but still managing to put heavy CC onto the Cupid and also Varnus there. Still managing to survive through it. Cupid managing to just dash out with very little health, getting poked out a little bit as well. Middle Phoenix does fall. No, Cupid does manage to fall to Osiris. Osiris now almost falling, but there's teams pick up the Hades. It's looking like it's the one trapping things alive. Definitely has come out, but that fight is going to fall. First game isn't going to go. Yep, 2 more kills come out. Yes, as Thor does manage to pick up 2 kills, they probably still managed to get that title and game 1. Played that really nicely there, just trying to just prevent as much aggression as possible from Whats A Jpeg early on, and picking up that the anti-heal to prevent that heavy sustain they all had. Good play by them. Fantastic. Alright, where are we at? I think we're good. We can get the after game. 24 to 19. I think the Cupid pick didn't go as expected there, but I think they suffered mostly from the lack of any CC immunity from the heavy CC comp that the papis would bring. So unfortunately, we didn't get to see Chuck do much from that ADC role. As much as he could have done if he probably maximised his potential from the early game. Looking at the late game stats here, just started to see towards the end of the game how the damage started just pouring out from the papis as well. Right, Joe, we're talking a lot about the heavy sustain that they did bring on the Whats A Jpeg, but I think that's, if I can read that correctly, that Sylvanas managed to pump out 4,000 healing. And so Hades with the just over 1k in Cupid, not even hitting 1k healing. I think that's just a heavy anti-heal, just literally minimising the amount of sustain that can come from Whats A Jpeg. Interesting to see though the kind of flex picks, thinking that Cupid was just going to go to ADC, but no, find Cupid in the solo lane and chucking the ADC role. Moving on to game 2. Really did like the way the ADC was very patient with how that game came along, the late game with the Jingwei. You didn't see many ADCs. You normally see a lot of ADCs get a little bit impatient if they're getting pressured out, but she played it very nicely. Weighed it out and waited till her strength kind of hit in the late game. First ban Persephone coming out from Whats A Jpeg, no surprise there. Persephone does make a massive impact alongside a huge damage from a huge burst damage from her 1 and her 2. And plants. And from there the emoji ban coming out from the papis. He's a god I do know critical mass plays. So I like the fact that they took the Ganesha last for game 1. That's crit god. And the Kolkan ban coming out second from Whats A Jpeg, and the Odin ban coming out from the papis. And come on to the final bin of the first phase. Being going to be Camazotz and the Hunbats coming out. I wonder what's A Jpeg looking to pick up here. I wonder if they're going to go for a similar aggressive dive comp, or they're going to change it up a little bit. Thor being picked up first for Whats A Jpeg. Most likely going back to Drowsy Bat. Did use that Thor very well in the mid game, but I think it fell off late game. As I think his build, he had a full damage build, which means that he wasn't very defensive and just got taken out almost instantly when he was caught. The Anubis being hovered over. Chen and Osiris being picked up for the papis here. Osiris probably going to Trey again, showing his hyper aggression that he portrayed in game 1. I think Chen going to game fan for the support most likely. Looking like Merlin and Tyr being locked in for Whats A Jpeg. Ori being known for being a tier main, and I like the Merlin pick, very strong mid pick overall for mid. I think Merlin is also receiving nerfs next patch for his ultimate damage. That shit alone just really does hurt alongside the CC it brings. Small CC anyway. Jingwei being picked back up for papis there, given back to Who's Davey. Really looking to play a very patient game. Does play a lot of Jingwei, I noticed that guy. Wonder what the ADC, if they're going to go for very similar pressure to what they had last time. Just try and push that Jingwei out. Second ban phase comes along, the Kumbhakana being banned out from the papis. Kumbhakana's being a very strong-ish pick lately. May know for the huge CC chain he just brings with 3 abilities. Ridiculous. I think Kumbhakana, I think he's recently has been nerfed for his ult damage. I think that did get nerfed recently. Daji coming out as a ban from Whats A Jpeg. Looking like that's a ban to try and stop her from flexing the Merlin out. That's CC because he doesn't have a CC immune ult. That Paola being a devastating ult if hit many people. Kepri being the final ban from the Papis there, and Scylla being the final ban from What's A Jpeg. Kind of like Scylla as a pick. I think Scylla's like, she wasn't seen as a very high pick at all towards the start of the season, but I think she's quite a safe pick for the mid lane regardless, and damage she does bring very high. Discordia being picked up for the mid lane for the Papis there. Do love Discordia, but I think it does work with the CC, the Strife. Can catch. If that's looking to be a Jonqui ADC, it's looking like they're going for quite heavy aggression, although the Terror being hovered over kind of pulls back their aggression a little bit from dual lane. So looking like a Jonqui ADC. Might see that change. So he's taking quite the heavy sustain from What's A Jpeg with the Terror heals Jonqui with his 2 and the Tyr with his power cleave as well. Still looking to have that sustain. I wonder if they'll go for the Cursed Open again, because that is a pure counter to their Terror as well. The Jonqui ADC, I believe that's the ADC, being locked in. Could see a switch between the Merlin and the Jonqui, but not supposing so. Savvy looking to not play Hunters today. I think also the Jonqui does like put a little bit more pressure onto the Jingwei, not allowing her to do a lot. Similar to what happened last game as well. But I think if Jingwei just like is patient enough, as she was last game, I mean, she didn't really have so much of an issue with that. I think we're looking for the last pick to come out. The jungler Fenrir looking to be picked out. Interesting. Quite a surprising pick into that team actually, considering they have a lot of interruptions for him. Especially on that Brutalize. I think he's looking for that ultimate pick up though from the Ragnarok. Still deciding if that's going to go through. The Fenrir is locked in there. The jungle pick, I believe. On What's A Jpeg, looking like a Tyr solo Terror support. The Merlin in the mid and the Jonqui in the ADC, with Thor in the jungle. The Papi going Jingwei ADC, Xing Chen support, Osiris in the solo, Fenrir jungle, and Discordia mid. Do want to see some hot Discordia players, I do. Really like that character, but just not being a top pick right now, even though she has so much potential. The damage she is capable of bringing. I think the aggression does come a little bit more from What's A Jpeg again. Although seeing Terminator on that Cyrus last game did not take that very nicely, just seeing him running the team down last game. Probably looking to do some very similar thing in this game as well. I can Xing Chen pick here as well. You can just scoop up her, because the Jonqui is going to look to ult into the front line in those team fights, try and get the backline block, but if Xing Chen's managed to CC and keep him away. I think Jonqui's immune to knock-ups and slows in his ultimate, but I still think he's able to be locked down by roots, so I think Xing Chen can get peel there for his team very well against that Jonqui there. Thor pick being strong coming out. Hopefully Jazzyback can bring the same kind of aggression he brought last game with the insane damage coming out from the stun double tap combos. What do I actually want? Excited for game 2. An early game through the laning phase, I think. I think Jean-Qui still gets his little book, his Book of Demons. He now gets that level 1, the extra auto damage that thing provides. I think gets that level 1 now, I believe. So I don't know if I think they might outclear the Papis here, just about. Pushing them a little bit back towards their tower, I believe. Just seeing that Terra against the Xing Chen. The Xing Chen does have a bit more clear potential on the Terra. Through mid lane, I think due to Merlin's noticeable clear potential, we might just outclear that Discordia in the mid lane. But Solo probably looking for a lot of aggression from Trey on the other side, kind of like punching Tyr as much as he can for the early game. I need to load in here. I can see the Warriors going from a very odd pick to his top pick. So he's probably said that's enough is enough. Doing a crit as a record on that Terror as well. Very used to playing her. I think I'm Bad Bobby is a Merlin I quote one Trey because that being, I think that being his nickname in the server. I think they are Whats A Jpeg are trying to bring their A game this game. I'm interested to see how this Discordia pick will actually work out. Due to I think Trayman is going to get a lot of aggression into their back line, as he does with the Osiris. Potential Osiris Bring, sorry. But looking at like how heavy dive we could have the Tyr, Jean-Qui, and the Terror, especially with that Terror, like I think the Terror late game, unless they do get cursed on, because that is a strong counter to that Terror, but unless they do, the Terror does turn the tides to it with a team fight quite scary. Get a little bit of poke there from onto the Xing Chen from the Terror there. Getting their wards about. I think I can see much more balanced game here. I'm liking the team fight favour more to Whats A Jpeg here. Just the heavier ults. I mean, like with the Discordia ults in that fight, if they're managing to not allow that to spread, might work. To just like minimise her damage. Oh, it looks like the invade cuts out from the Papis there onto the Dura lane of Whats A Jpeg. Not managing to get a kill, but I think they're managing to steal the buff away from them. Pushing them back, trying to like take away the early aggression they probably thought they were going to have. I know, I think I was wrong actually. I don't think Jean-Qui gets his book passive until he actually activates the ability. And yeah, so Osiris going back to his tower there. I like that kind of allowing Jingwei and Xing Chen to actually get some push onto that. They're managing to go for their own buffs now, but they're in a little bit more of a more ahead spot than the dual lane for Whats A Jpeg. Discordia picking up a red buff there, and Merlin's going to pick up his. Looking at the right mids here. And he's looking at the wall, both towards down. Yeah, I think they're going to let that go to Whats A Jpeg. Looking at the aggression coming out from Tyr here, surprised to see that Terminator is not actually fighting back. Crazy man that guy. Oh, I love that. Fenrir on the brutalize. He might die to minion archer shot, just barely managing to slip out there. I'm trying to look to pick him off, but he managed to catch him. I think that's that health pot he saved him. Just ticking away on him there. Luckily managing to slip out. from the early game, noticing that Fenrir, the brutalize on the Fenrir. I mean, it's just the pure strength from that ability. I think at level, if you well, out of level 3 or 4, if you get some poison, so just 300 damage base.
Yeah.
It's insane. Try and get the Fenrir pressure early. So looking to be pushed a little bit out here. Terminator using that aggression nicely. Then his defense starts getting that heal off. Living life on the edge tier is there. Terminator really wants that kill for some reason. No, Cyrus really getting pushed. I think it looks like he's gone 2 points into Spirit Flail there. Could be wrong. Look at the damage that came off of that from the last hit. Actually, no, I think it's from on the second strike, though, my bad. But on that call. Tim having to, though, Tim having to turn the tables a bit now, clear him. Pushing him back, and getting the totem pressure for his team. I like the look of that. Both mid laners hitting level 5 here. The two lanes stuck at level 3 alongside the junglers. Getting their second buff spawns. Average teleports coming out from both Solomon's and the beads coming out on the ADC mid and jungler for Whats A Jpeg. Whereas got 2 blinks on the papis from the support and the jungler. Looking to get some early aggro on maybe in this game, especially with the Fenrir ult, look straight onto the Terror there. I think Zhonghui's stacking his pass ups is becoming a little bit harder to deal with. Getting that tank line. Looks like the rotation coming out just before it catches this lovely strike. Unreal magic on there. Oh, he does manage to catch Terror off. Zhonghui does manage to get bombarded by the enemy team there. Lovely rotation from the puppies there. Really good to score this strike. I've seen plays like that. Fantastic. Michael Terror did manage to do the right thing though, catching the ultimate, trying to see if he can save the Zhonghui, but no, because of Zhonghui's inability, they're managing to easily. I think he beated the Strife, which means they were able to lock him down with his Engineering after as well. That actually gives the dual lane in a little bit of a lead there. Jim hitting 5 already, and much happier game than the last game. Trey's just still playing on the aggression, but the heal's coming out from tier now. That power cleave will be level 3. Heal's getting stronger and stronger on that. Oh my god, heavy Trey's coming out of the tiers. Tetherman as well, go watch that stun. And there's looking, he's just clearing the blue, but could look to take the tier on here, but it just still doesn't look like the tier has the ultimate, though he's falling down with low health there, and he does get the solo kill onto Cyrus. Although here comes a Fenrir coming to take him with the Ragnarok, sorry. Brutalize doesn't manage to take him out, and the heal, he's gonna get taken out. Oh my goodness. Whew. I mean, Warrior just said fucking no. He just said no fucking ganking. Took him all right out. I was a bit worried because it doesn't look like he's leveled a point into his ultimate there. Just gone straight for the Fearless and the power cleave, and it does manage to take off. This is heavy 16 coming from it. I think trying to just slip out there mid. Terror trying to pick him off. The golden apple of Discord there. Just missing the Terror, keeping him alive. That actually the hit there with the crippled her and stopped her dash. Could have ended up having a kill there, but still, I'm just still a little bit shocked there from Warrior. Insane play, taking out both Solo and the jungler for the puppies. Don't mess with the tier. Yeah, the easy on the stupid. Just Terror just started the Oracle there. I like that. Like the support getting a little bit of advantage in the jungle. Looking at builds though, Cyrus going back into his Berserker Shield as he did the last game. Tyr going in the boots first. The Warrior Tabby. Applying that pressure now that he has because he has the level lead. I think also just has solely just the abilities from the ability levels in a Power Cleave and Fearless. 1 and 2 there, just managing to missed the Fearless there. Doesn't bother him.
Forest is a weird one with the shield because Berserkers definitely does work on him, but you know, because optionally puts Thor looking like to go into the Anvil of Dawn, looking to rotate onto the Osiris here. Osiris does have his ultimate. The stun does land. I need to get some damage off, but Osiris manages to sustain in there with the Berserker shield ultimate out back to his tower to save himself. Thor taking a little bit of poke too there from that ultimate. So Osiris now from Berserker shields, and also the fragments from his passive just being a little bit too tanky here. I'll say too tanky, just tanky enough to survive the onslaught. Not seeing too much fights out of the mid. Letting Merlin kind of just like farm right up, both mids being level 9. Fenrir still seem to be level 6, although just seeing level 7. Both junglers to be level 7. 2 level lead to Warrior in the solo lane, although Osiris just hit level 8, making that a 1 level lead. Probably purely from those 2 solo kills, that probably granted a good lead for Warrior there in the solo lane. Zhonghui just ignoring the wave. Just going to Jingwei saying, you know, screw you, Jingwei. But she literally does not care and focuses on clearing the wave. Good decisions there from the Jingwei. She's doing exactly what she did last game. Just playing it slow. I think she's going back into the same build with Devo. So I think there's no point getting blocked quite early. All the fights in the middle lane, onto the Merlin. I think the Fenrir does take a lot of poke to the Soul on the and the Merlin. The Discordia after does manage to find Merlin and take it out. Trade for the mid and the jungler there. But that Terror, man, I'm a huge fan of it. It's one of the best fucking team fights in the game. I love it. Yeah, but loving the Discordia strikes coming out, just catching Whats A Jpeg off guard. I can't remember if I recall seeing if that was a double strife causing the madness happening there, if it was just the root onto the Merlin, but I think that causes beads to come out. Oh no, it didn't. And Merlin does still manage to keep his relic, but doesn't have his own line taken. Tyr looking to take out Osiris again. Giving a little bit of remarks there. Still not performing. Might have to terminate quite a bit on the Osiris there, because I don't know what he's going to do without being able to just fully aggress. But Krennic's Pendant coming onto both of the mid builds for both teams here. I like it. I love it on the Discordia. People say that you don't really need it due to the fact that she has a 3. Solely Molly for the late game when she gets all the cooldown reductions, but I still love the fact that I think because her erratic behaviour, the leap, that's 16-second cooldown. It's gone through a few changes over some time, but I think max CDR, if I can do my math correctly, takes quite a bit of seconds off. I think it's like 5-6 seconds it takes off 40% CDR. Oh, the Strife and Emerald Magic catching the Thor, taking a big chunk of his health out. Zinchon blinking in. He lands onto the Discordia though, manages to catch it before he takes his own life. Discordia after the Terror does come out, there's Zinchon also tries to Terror, but Jingwei's running away. Looks like the Zinchon will fall here, but Zhonghui coming out just managed to get that kill. Making sure they get that kill there. Did actually forget to mention the Terror into Zinchon's excellent pick, which is countering two of his abilities that will try to lock her down. So as long as she has a stone throw, can't get thrown by that ultimate as well, as we just saw. Tyr managing to push the Jingwei out back by her purple buff as seen there. As Whats A Jpeg do manage to grab that Gold Fury. Are playing it a lot nicer this game. I like how they're not going full aggro. They're taking the fight when they need to. Spotting when they can make their mark. Even though Drowsy did fall that last fight, they did manage to pick up, I think it was the Discordia. I think the Fenrir fell too, alongside the Zing Chen. So that's definitely worth it there, alongside the getting Gold Fury, of course. It looks like so I love the fact that Exodus and Fenrir's gone Brawlers again, just to try to minimize that sustain that comes out. It looks like Discordia will probably go into a Divine Beam to just counter that Terror and probably sustain that Tyr and Zhonghui will bring to the fight for the late game. I'm liking that. I think my team probably should take notes from. Oh god. They got Miss Cobras. Give them a shout out. We actually won our first game. I was really happy with that. Surprised actually won our first set. As soon as we get Spazzy, you know, we'll win all our games now. He's the OG. Sorry, not giving up. Coming to aggression onto Merlin here. Merlin turning is that fire stance, the heavy defense stance you can use to defend himself, as pumping out a lot of damage with that prot shred from the dragon fire. Looking like to put a level of aggression onto it. It looks like a team fight. It's like a tank. The Fenrir getting erased just by the insane damage that comes out from it. Thor doesn't connect onto the Osiris, and Merlin combo just comes in. Ice Stance takes out Osiris. Shell coming out from the Terror to keep the team relatively healthy. I like it. Taking out the Oracles there, getting a lovely kill. It looks like the Discordia has been poked out heavily, I think, from the tier in mid. Does manage to just escape though. Walking around from the top end, looking to take out the Xing Chen here. And they do manage to do so, taking out this tier 1 tower. 3-1 stake there, tier 1 tower in mid for them. Wanted to go for Pyromancer here, if they can easily get it for free. Fantastic. Love the way What's A Jpeg are turning this around. Taking that Pyromancer out relatively quickly. I'm playing fire here. I'm running low on my battery, but should be hanging alright for this game. I think, just looking out for what we're going off of here, if Whats A Jpeg do manage to carry on the way they're going and take themselves to a victory, then we may look for a game. Well, we will be looking at a game 3. Just heavily invading the enemy for leader. Got 4 levels. Sorry, they're Jinwei being caught in the enemy's purple buff there. So the defender comes in to help him out, and Jonqui with the beats and the Aegis does manage to just save his life. A lot of damage coming out onto him there. Tail trying to just peel them off there. Nice little engage onto the into the enemy jungle from the puppies there. And the build, it looks like the support builds are relatively the same. Obviously going from Gauntlet into Terror, so just going to Sovereignty and Generals and Chance going into Bridge. I'm assuming it's going to be the same. Osiris looking like they're going back into that toxic wave. Looks like Jingwei's going to get pushed back here. Using the insane mobility from Jingwei to try and escape, but Thor's ult is going to try to catch her out. If he does backstep, managing to just avoid the door, but getting the boot from Thor that out, but Jonqui ult keeps him on the ground and keeps those demons coming. Thor managing to pick up the kill on the Jingwei, taking her out. Lovely stuff there. Guess we did say that even though the Jonqui's susceptible to roots in the ultimate, he doesn't get thrown by the Xin General due to the fact he's just knuckling him. Squaddy looking at the Jonqui there, sorry, from the Chua lane. But Whats A Jpeg pushing up into the enemy jungle quite far. Discordia not knowing that the Jonqui is coming straight behind, the Osiris being poked up quite a bit, and a lot of damage there. They're going to slip out, the red buff comes up, looks like they're going to try and contest those. Coming tier, although they managed to break the enemy. Looks like there's something for free ending up Merlin. Obviously Merlin's taking out the objectives like that. Oh, Fenrir trying to come around the other side. Try and see if he can get a sneaky steal, but he managed to do so. Tier blinked over the wall. Oh, he didn't, he just came out from the side. That looks that incorrectly there. Trying to pick him off, but Happy's playing it safe, managing to pull back any casualties. Well, the only way is pushing up now from Whats A Jpeg's team. Looking at what they've got at the minute, I mean, I'm interested to see what the relic pickup would be from the Pappies, because love to see it again. Obviously, I sound like a sucker for anti-heal, but like that Cursed Dunk would literally help immensely, especially the upgraded version against the Terror ult. Giving them the increased damage just really limits their aggression, especially with sieging and stuff, which it looks like is going to happen as they're pushing the towers in Jua lane. They're looking at Fire Giant from the Papis here because Merlin's looking to push with no. Merlin was going to recall, but no, all five pushing the dual lane Papis, which gives Papis a very open chance to go to Fire Giant. So I think they're happy going to take here. They are. 3 Fire Giant for the Papis there. Good call. I'm liking that, where that's coming from. Go back to builds. I feel like Savvy's already doing a lot more from the ADC role with the jump now. Coming up a lot more damage in the fights. Also being a ranged character probably helps a little bit more as well. I like that he's gone from the Purple Boots into the Bank. I've seen Purple Boots being picked up a lot more with the lifesteal combo it now gives. Into the Karen's coin for the 20% magical pen, alongside the bonus HP 5 and the movement speed it gives. It's very. I do like the item. I think it's a great item. I don't think it's picked up enough. Bear in mind it's the only item alongside Obshard that gives 20% magical pen, and Obshard right now isn't the best item, unfortunately for mages. Terra looking to go from the soft. Looking like she's going into. That could be either any of the Kasari items, be it. Whether that be Shogun's, Genshi's, or Oni. Each one would work well on Terra, regardless. I think the Papis have got to try and use some aggression, or whatever aggression they can with the Fire Giant, try and get some structures here, because the only structure that's missing is the tier 1 and the solo lane. Everything else stands up, whereas they only have 2 towers remaining on the Papis side. Both dual lane towers falling and the tier 1 trim in solo going. So the Primus is going to be taken by Whats A Jpeg. Taking out Walsh, thought just dived on by the Jinwei in the Fen and taken out just before he can get his ultimate off. Lovely coordination there from the ADC and the jungler. Fantastic. Pushing that tier 1 tower, using the most out that come from that Fire Giant, extra damage onto these structures. I think the original Fire Giant, is it 20% or 30%? 25? It could be 25%. Now, little tier coming in, looks like they're trying to defend their tier 2. Both tanks coming in the Terra with the root from the Monolith. Discordia tries to answer with a Strife, but Terra just dashes straight back out of it. Taking quite a lot of poke there onto the Terra. The blink from Tyr tries to push it out of the tower. The ultimate push up from Terra. Lovely combo from there. Throws further into the Puppy's team, and they do manage to take out that Terra. The CC lockdown. I think the Terra Monolith wasn't up in time, so she did unfortunately get thrown by the Zingenot there. Didn't see what quite happened with the Discordia apple. I think that came across and just applied more damage onto the Terra, I think. Interesting to see, so Teleport and Blink relic-wise for the solo lane out on Whats A Jpeg with Old Warrior on the tier. Beads and Aegis coming out again for Jazzy, but I don't think he's a Blink kind of guy. Interesting though. Like I was just playing it safe. Aegis could help out against things like Chain Ticks and Discordia apples and abilities and whatnot. Bees and Aegis obviously coming onto the ADC and mid laner of Whats A Jpeg 2. Terra, I think that's a frenzy she chose to go for, which is fantastic. It was a fantastic pickup alongside her. Oh, and yes, I do see a Xing Chen with a cursed Onk, so a lovely pickup from Gaming Fan. Looks like that's upgraded already as well. She's just ready to full throttle that Terra or wipe her out. Alongside the fact that they have the same anti-heal item as they had last time. I mean, they've got the Toxic Blade third and the Brawler third, alongside the Divine Ruin third. She just takes out their sustain pretty quickly from the Terra. But I kind of like how the Terra tried to answer back with that, giving her team, as the ultimate does give 5% negation to her team and then extra damage taken by the enemies. The frenzy on top of that will kind of try and turn the tides if they do manage to use it. I'll try and use it around the cursed Onk that comes out, because I think that's a 150-second cooldown. I could be wrong. Really, it could either be between 120 and 150 seconds. But you could at least try to get to a Terra roll without that cursed Onk coming out, affecting the team as much. Thor, I did hope come straight up, landing onto the Jinwei, forcing the beast. Here and driving onto the back line. Looks like they're sorry to get that captain out here. Ultimately, out the Merlin just managed to burn him out. Scordio does come out onto the Merlin, the Aegis to save him. Running on the Terra though. One is coming out onto the Scordio. Scordio is quite far from here. Jinwei does manage to take up the tier in the back line though. Lovely help from the Fenrir, probably take him out. Looks like Terra's gonna might fall here with a lovely big one from Chen. Fenrir with brutalized there. Nice kind of self-quick force stun there. The Terra is like, oh, nice stun coming out, but it does look like she's going to fall. Two of those Zing Chentix. I think that's a 1 for 2 or 3. No, 1 for 2 fight there. The Solina does fall on the Puppy side, but seeing a return on both tanks. Oh, the lovely strike coming out with the unruly magic combo. Out, the Jean-Claude takes all the damage and tries to take up with the Aegis, doesn't work, and all of What's A Jpeg do fall down. Obviously not having any tanks to kill from there, but the Puppy saw an open opportunity to dive on them. Some of them having relics down already, so easy to take them out. Going to get free. I think that's just normal gold view there. Going towards the Pappies, that's fantastic. Fantastic play by them. Really starting to turn this game back around. Getting up. I think that was almost I think that was a DS side. I think the Terror in the tier map comes back up just before. That's a fantastic fight turnaround from the Pappies there. Looking at the builds, Jingwei going back into a pen build with the Titan's Bane looking to be purchased alongside the Kin size. I think that's probably what helped deal against the Tier in the fight in the fight last time. Alongside the Fenrir helping her out, which is a good call. Fenrir going with the Magi's, which is very good pickup. Obviously, just the CC, the What's A Jpeg bring with the root stuns. The stuns from Terra and Jean-Claude, and the Fearless from Tyr, and Thor. Sorry, Thor's Ultimate 2, of course. However, with Thor's with Terra Walls and Terra Roots, and the Thor stun, they can all try and pop that Magi's to kind of like a bit more at risk in the next fight. A few pings coming out here and there. Looking like to get Pyromancer for the Puppies. Terra's noticed that spotted effect. Fenrir's going to try to spot her out on the way. Blink coming in from Tyr trying to push them out of the Pyromancer hit. Terra Root does come out, managing the Pyromancer to fall back, trying to recap their health. Squaddy's take quite a bit of poke there. Oh, the ultimate Lawbrain coming out and landing on the Squaddy, and the ult comes out and landing on the Terra. The Squaddy's in a lot of trouble, does manage to fall. Merlin combo tries to keep him trying to bay, and the Terra Root comes out fantastically there. The Jean-Claude does manage to keep him up, but he does fall to the Jingwei and the Osiris there. Tyr falling in the back as well. Again, the Puppy's fighting that really nicely. Like Osiris ulting into the Merlin here, knowing that he's alone. Although the Merlin responding with insane damage from Fire Stance, but the Shell comes out saving him. Drowsyback coming in to try and save his life, does manage to take out the Osiris. Lovely play from the Fire Stance and the Merlin here. Although Thor's put himself in trouble, tries to stun the Fenrir, but the Magi pops and saves him from getting stunned, making that brutalized to take the kill for him. I'm also loving the impact Jingwei's had. Jingwei's had much more of an impact in this game than I've noticed from the last game. She's managed to come online a lot more quicker, I believe. From that kind of like, that pressure she was given early from the invade they tried to attempt, well, they successfully attempted, sorry, at the beginning of the game. Fire Giant managing to go to the Pappies here, but all members except the solo laner, unfortunately. Again, from that last fight, I thought that the Pappies were going to manage to just back off and kind of reset. And as the Discordia was in trouble, she does manage to fall, but... wait, hold on a minute. I don't think Discordia did fall in that last fight. Well, Cyrus definitely did, and I know 3 members of the Jpeg did, because the Pappies played defensively as well, because taking that Tier out in the back line, alongside the Terra, and the Merlin didn't eventually fall. Oh no, the Merlin didn't fall, sorry, the Thor fell. Oh yeah, no, yes, the 4 members did fall from What's A Jpeg. Because everyone but the Merlin died. And Puppy's playing this excellently. I think what What's A Jpeg got to see now, looking at the builds as well, like Warrior's not looking too tanky to dive the backline very far. Only having Glad Shield as a physical protection, especially against a Jingwei who's got Exi and Titan's Bane with the Kin size, which boosts into his pickup, because he's picked up Ritual Dagger to get that blink off more often, with the Blackthorn Hammer as well, all giving high health counts but just no protection, so that Kin size probably really taking a lot of effect onto him in the back line. Hence Jingwei taking him out twice now in the team fights in the back line. I think Tyr might need to look to pick up more defense before fighting deeper into the enemy backline. I'm only having one defense line for each there.
I think Glad Shield is it? I think is it 40 physical protection? I think might be 45. I could be going a little bit over there. It could even be like, because no Berserkers is 30, isn't it? I'm trying to think about how this. I'll be going a little bit higher in the stats assumptions there as well. I think that's all he has, regardless. Although the defense stance, bear in mind, does give him 53 protections in his when he's activated it in his blue stance. They seem to pick up Arendite last time. They're also Whats A Jpeg playing it safe here, getting as much poke out as they can. Thor looking to ult here into the tier 2. Push. Tried to ult onto Jingwei. Jingwei didn't manage to pull back a little bit. He hammers in, putting himself a little bit of risk there. Fenrir trying to grab him, but doesn't manage to keep out. Here, Thor bringing into there the lovely Zinchenters from the ult, tossing two of them back down the lane. Oh, sorry if I need to ult out. Thor gets picked up in the back by the Fenrir. The tank's managing to sustain a lot of damage, and the Papis here taking a lot of the kit out. The Curse Dong does come out eventually. But that's straight after Terror, but he manages to keep this sustained down. Fenrir hitting Unchained on the auto, taking out Merlin. Papis turning this fight majorly here, but they could be in a lot of trouble. If these come up from Jungle Queen, not enough to save him from the Fenrir. Terror looking like she's going to fall pretty soon afterwards as well. The heavy lockdown, fantastic comeback from the Papis from that fight. Merlin needs to get out, he's in a lot of trouble here. Let's try to figure out, but they're going to let him fall back a little bit as they're very low. They need to sustain up there. Papis needs to be careful. On the Merlin does manage to pick up Terminator, he will pick up the Eclipse, but he does manage to get the double kill onto the Fenrir as well. Trying to save as much time, buy as much time as possible, but the Phoenix is not even going to fall. Looking to recall. Thor ulting here, seeing if he can catch the Jingwei out. Just manages to miss. Gonna change his mind to chase the Xingqiang and Discordia instead. Xingqiang waiting around the corner for him. Gonna chase him down to stop him from getting to the Discordia, popping that Magi's nicely there. Whew. There's a lot to keep up with in that fight as well. Oh, the damage from that Discordia, loving it. The strife into the massive burst damage from Unreal Magic and the ult connect, taking him right out. Knowing that Thor doesn't have any relics up yet. Although he did use his beads in that fight as well, 140 seconds left on it. Taking out the Primal Fury, giving them extra jungle damage against jungle monsters and bosses. On the way, just loving the fact that the Papis are playing these fights really well. They're really pulling Whats A Jpeg out of their structures. Bearing in mind they had Fire Giant in that last fight, as it's just come off of, as they've just lost the Fire Giant buff as of now. But in that last fight, they were pushing the tier 2 in mid, and Whats A Jpeg kind of just took that a little bit too far and went a little bit too far up the lanes, and then the Papis managing to push back, knowing that they have nothing to fall back to for a while, taking out the members along the way. Obviously with the inability of gods like Zhong Kui as well, managing to poke him out and keep him and put him in trouble with the CC lockdown as well. I think Zhong Kui's realised that and he's picked up a Magi's 4th, trying to help him stay alive a little bit longer in those fights and reduce that CC impact he has on him. Alongside the Typhon, trying to give a little bit more sustain, but the anti-heal pickups from the Papis, I don't think that's going to matter that much from the Typhon, even though it does give an extra 10% magical penetration. Coming out house game. You know, a little bit. Yeah. So I'm unable to. Merlin that we and the. Yes, please. I was noticing that last fight, taking out that Osiris and the Fenrir. There we go. Back onto it. The Papis do manage to take out that Fire Giant. I believe that is enhanced now. So they're going to have a lot of, on the Merlin. Solo lane. Here, and to see if they can. And looking at the Glad Shield being swapped out for a Mantle of Discord, tankiness and defensive as well. But I think I had a Fenrir. Oh. coming from the back. Audio, there we go. Right, no. Alright, I can see what's happening now. Phoenix. Oh, the Whats A Jpeg too managed to use what they're about to try and do. Especially that Merlin, a lot of Merlin damage. You working quite a safe distance, and they're trying to push a lot of them out. But if they come in, Terra Root tries to come out onto the Jing Wei, they go away from the Meanwhile, there's a deep conceded. I haven't got a think. I see the terror coming out there. Okay, right. Looks like the Phoenix has definitely gone. The mid Phoenix is going to fall very shortly. Jing Wei and Osiris taking a lot of damage. They need to sustain up a little bit more. They're going quite far into the Titan base, taking a lot of damage. Whats A Jpeg trying to see if they can get a pick here. Thorov is going to come out. Looks like Jing Wei may fall. She does manage to fall to the tier. And I think they will manage to pick up the Xing Chen if he doesn't get out. But yeah, I think they're going to catch the Xing Chen down. Still call that worth for 2 Phoenixes as well. Noticing the Zhonghui there did also fall on Whats A Jpeg. Okay, right, I'm not low on battery, so I hope I don't die in this fucking. I hope I don't lose connection. My phone doesn't die during this game. I want it to finish before I disconnect. See if the papis manage to pull out a 2-0, or if the Whats A Jpeg do manage to bring it back. Yeah, going back to the builds I was on about, like in the Merlin coming with a Roger Tahuti there for the final eye, alongside his pen, and just taking out Discordia gone for the start from mid in there, which I find interesting. I wonder what she's going to try and do there. She could do a few strife combo, heavy burst damage with the double one, or even she could try and play tactically with the double dash, just resetting those calls. I think it's 1.5 seconds a tick every 0.5 seconds, so that could be substantial for a team fight, just dropping out major damage from double Discordia Cloud. I think we should relatively seeing the same of the builds for the mid laners. For junglers, I like seeing double road pickup on the Magi's Click and the Magic Discord, giving him a lot of protection against CC. Alongside obviously his beats there as well. Jing Wei gone into Toxic Blade and Oboe last. Very popular ADC items. I think Oboe definitely shining on the chain lightning damage if it gets to the back. Looking at her power, obviously not only having I think 100 and something from I think 65 from Dev Gloves, 30 from Exi and 40 from 30 from Exi and Titan, sorry, and 40 from the Kim side. Only leaves her at like 165 power base Titans, but with the Fire Giant, and she's got 3k pot in hand as well. Most likely will also have a 500 gold pot as well, taking her up to at least 300 damage. I don't know if she has a red buff on her, but just pumping up the damage and scaling up that Oboe with the Toxic Blade dealing out anti-heal as well is fantastic. Kind of feel bad for the Zhonghui. She's not been able to do as much as expected this game. She's not being able to get to the backline without being absolutely shredded down by the CC, especially from the Osiris and the Xing Chen. Just keep him away from the backline. Pressure. They're looking to try and defend the time from the fire minions, pushing up there. They did manage to get the only Fury of the Papis that comes through the middle of the solo lane. They come down, just be careful with that. The Terror just come out. The Tear falls almost instantly. Insane. Terror just comes up, you have to get out. Discordia does not answer the Thor who lands. The Xing Chen and the Jing Wei are picked up by the Merlin. Fantastic kill from Merlin. Insane damage coming out from that character. Ridiculous. I mean, Osiris getting poked out quite a ton. He's under 10% HP. They're only getting poked out quite a bit as long as with Discordia managing to survive and falling off. I think they should have waited for the fight. They should have looked for Fire Giant there because it was up, but they didn't seem to have typical straight from the siege side on the GSL. I've got to try and get it as much as I can before I unexpectedly disconnect on 7%.
Fucking race against the clock here. I don't know. I can't see the minutes we are in this game, currently in this game. But I just hope I last. Let's just say that. I like to see. Seeing a little bit of aggression from the Jing Chen with the E-Staff pick up there as well. Also, Spirit's Robe and thanks to the anti-heal. Loving the fact that Terry did go into Onis after the Sari pickup, which obviously definitely helps a lot. I think that's regarding the cursed Onk. If she's taking a lot of damage, at least you can get the pure mitigations from it regardless. Alongside Spirit Robe as well, maximizing that mitigation she can take. Very nice. Tyr looking to have got a little bit more tanky with the up. Thor has it as well. I think three members have a Magi on What's A Jpeg just to stop that CC from being so effective from the Pappy. But yeah, Tyr looking to be more tanky. Sorry, also the mid guards stopping Jin Wei from doing a lot more in the backline. Fenrir picking up ult there, but his team are focused a lot on Fire Giant, so we're just going to dash back to them. Tyr taking a lot of damage still from that though. Pushing What's A Jpeg back, looking like they're going to get the Fire Giant. Again, being enhanced, giving them the pressure to push these Phoenix quick as they can. What's A Jpeg do have all of their Phoenixes up, which means that Titan's going to regenerate health 50 a second, I believe that is. As it slowly rises to its top. They're going to push down right lane as the Fenrir just pushed up the middle lane, trying to get the split to happen from What's A Jpeg. Like. Love this little section here where the Tyr standing. The Scourge just raw abilities over that wall and really damaged. Look at the damage coming out from I think that 30%. No, she does have just 40% magic penetration. She's got stuff in now, just 10%. Tyr looking to get an ult over the wall. Xing Chen saying no thank you. Keeping him at bay there. Merlin trying to get a little. Terra trying to get some CC off, but the Fly Phoenix just falls instantly. Due to that enhanced fire damage, the damage to the structures, regardless of minions being out or not, is so huge. Merlin's taking huge damage from those things. And the Jin Wei also didn't really manage to clear up Terra there. Thought tried to clear up the Jin Wei in the back there. But Thor gets cleaned up by Cyrus. Jump Wheel does come out doing quite a bit of damage, but he just falls to the Jin Wei. The Jin Wei is picked up by the Merlin Blizzard as well. The Pappy's falling low on health here. The Titan's still very healthy from What's A Jpeg. They are managing to defend it very nicely. Despite having two Phoenixes down there. This Merlin is absolutely fantastic. Really pumping up the damage here. Using his stances very efficiently. Getting all the damage out. Keeping them. Taking out the ADC being a very potent part to what they need. Take that Titan and the Phoenixes. And this left Phoenix. Benny looking to get some aggro on him, just trying to push him back. Flickering out back to base to get a quick heal. Benny's in a little bit of an unlucky position here. He finishes him into the wall. The damage from the Elemental Marshy. He does up down, but the ticks from fire damage burns him. Insane. Been looking at play damage here. I can't quite see it because I think my icon in the way. Merlin is at the top. Damage there. Looking at the charts as well, I mean, Thor just not being able to pump out as much damage as he did last game. He's really struggling here. Looking at his item choices as well, he's got Yoden's Wrath and Titan's Bane for the. Trying to look to do a little bit more to the tanky characters of that team as well. I see what percent I'm on. It's probably running low. 6%. Fucking race against the clock. The Titans are taking so much damage from the minions still, though. Can't risk it. I think What's A Jpeg going to look to. Oh, What's A Jpeg? The Pappy's going to look to take the Gold Fury and try to see what they can do to finish the game if they can. But, yeah, looking at the damage numbers, Shark is quite seen. Terror's actually like that thing. Yeah, Thor just not being able to do as much as he can. The Pappy's literally just saying, no, you cannot get into my team. I think every time Thor's tried to ult in and like land on the back, it's either been a little bit too short or if he just managed to hit, gets the relics and just get caught off quite easily despite having a Magi's and both his relics. Just gets caught out in that backline. I think he needs to be much more aware of where he throws that hammer as well. Putting him at risk if that does go on cooldown. I think looking at it objectively here, he still has a Hydra's Lament, which I don't think he's going to do a lot with regarding the fact that the Xing Chen's going to be peeling off. With the Furious Draw that Xing Chen gives, which I think reduces, is it 50% basic stack reduction, which is substantial, especially with the Hydra spot. It's not going to do much with that. We need to look into at least a little bit of defense. Could even go into a void shield here to just like take that, give that a little bit of a percent pen in the aura as well. That could be an optional pickup. Because looking at Fenrir with the Arendite as well, he's also got 2 rogues, so they're going a little bit more minions coming in from Dura lane, pushing time back a little bit. They're coming down, Papis coming down the mid lane here. Thor trying to ult there, getting a lot of poke onto the Terror as well. Thor, they're backing off, trying to like take the Thor out, because now that's going to be down. Fenrir pushing off to the side here. They're looking to come into the Titan area here. What's there? They're trying to fight for the Titan there, like I'm looking at the guessing the Merlin can come up as much damage as possible. Zinchen blink with the flash cross from behind him, but they come in at that Titan, expecting to rock comes out, and the Merlin and the Titan does fall. Fantastically played by the Pappy. They did struggle early. What's Jpeg had a fantastic lead and did push through the early game, but the Pappies definitely had an amazing comeback. Insane. Lovely stuff coming out from that team. I mean, also props to the Merlin and Whats A Jpeg especially. And I'm not forgetting that tier play from Warrior very early on, taking out both the, doing a little bit of a 1v2 there. Very good clutch plays coming up from both teams. Lovely game. I think looking at dual lane as well, the invade did kind of work, pushed him away in the driver's seat almost for that lane. Fortunately, Zhonghui wasn't able to do as much as his potential showed, due to just being completely erased. I think he might have needed more defense in that build because the double lifesteal was getting. He might have anti-Pappies had. Unfortunately, Thor wasn't able to do a lot with that, a lot in that game, in the second game, in the first game. Just not pulling off enough damage numbers there to kind of take out the backline of the Pappies as well. I actually love both mids in this game as well. The Merlin pumping out insane damage numbers, despite being pushed back quite far in the late game. He's just managing to take targets at the right moments, taking out the Jing Wei, taking out the Osiris, things, using the stance at the right time, the Eclipse, loving the Blizzards coming out, and then using the Fire stance defensively to just burn targets. Fantastic play from the Merlin. And just the Discordia combos, seeing the amount of strifes that actually hit 2 or more enemies on Whats A Jpeg. Fantastically catching off guard, and especially the Unruly Magic combo, straight into the Golden Apple of Death. And that managing to spread a few times, but still the burst damage from that alone in the late game does manage to catch them off, especially with the 40% pen from the bit, with the 50 flat pen from Divine Renewing as well. Loving I think the Xing Chen pick here was very harsh on the Thor specifically. Didn't really have an auto attack comp from the Whats A Jpeg, but the Thor had the Hydras, which wasn't allowed to do as much with the Xing Chen, and noticing the tether from the Osiris as well. Obviously reducing the damage output that the team gets, but I think the Osiris tether, is that damage output total, or is that just damage output? I think regardless, it still puts them gives the enemies a debuff when he's just trying to die. Yeah, fantastic. Also, fantastic play from the Jing Wei there, just managing to take out that tier in the back line, alongside from the help from the Fenrir. Fenrir did have a bit of a rough early game from the start as well, but lovely to see him kind of pull through and just ult the right targets and set up for his team. Also helping his team along the way, like double teaming with the Jing Wei, taking out, we're diving onto the Zhonghui and Dura lane at some points and taking out the tier in the back line in fights. It's fantastic to see that synergy come across. But yeah, that's quite a set. I really enjoyed it. That was my first casting game. I have 2%, so thank God that finished in time. Racing against the battery on my phone. But yeah, that was a fantastic set. I'm glad to have cast.